Good morning, beautiful. I hope that this finds you well rested, ready to kick off your week. This is your daily tarot oracle, your daily insight on life and love for January 31st, 2022, also being timeless. So, wherever you're catching a time, hi there. It might be relevant for you or maybe not so much, but if you stumbled your way across this, stick around. This might have some sort of truth for you. And what I'm seeing right here is you juggling a lot and spreading yourself thin for so long that you're breaking and you can't do it anymore. And it's this overwhelm, this burden. This is really about you and being honest with yourself. This is what we're looking at. This is initially what we're looking at. Something about you has to heal and learn, has to be free. But also, you have to be completely honest with yourself about it. What's not working in your life anymore? And I don't know exactly where this would stem from with you. So Spirit is saying, you gotta reflect. You gotta look back a little. You gotta stop joshing yourself on this. So, let's see. This is where it's gonna have to get very quiet for you. You can't have anyone echoing this back at you. You can't have anyone telling you what is wrong with you, because you're not going to listen. You're done listening. You've listened to too much. You're breaking your back on this. What you are going to find is going to break your heart, because I think that you could do it all and be this, this big savior for everybody, and that's completely unrealistic. So you're going to have to learn to make better decisions for yourself and for yourself in the future, not anyone else. You're going to have to learn to let people down, because you're not really letting them down. You're not. They have more than the ability to do this themselves. And now my throat chakra is acting up. My throat's all itchy. And you're going to have to learn to turn people away in your life and say no. You don't have to explain yourself away, but you do have to learn when people have needlessly piled things on top of you, just assuming that you would be up for it because you are such a yes person, people-pleasing person in your life. Whether or not you are kind about it or you're resentful of it, you've always given the shirt off your back to somebody. Give them your last bit of resources. That's got to stop now. And it's going to break your heart to do so, because you're going to see who has benefited from that and took advantage of that benefit. Maybe it's not malicious, but it still sucks. So what I'm seeing here, I see that you're going to start to get this feeling of whatever this new self is for you. Check the mini reads, because I was talking about something similar with the past you doesn't exist. The you that was isn't existing. What will be is going to be a fusion of what you overcome and what you decide to take with you. So actually, I see you doing something very different in here. And it's going to be your head over your heart, which means that your intellect over this is going to ride over your fears. Your fears do not get to rule your life and your decisions in this. Fear is going to be a very real factor in here, but it doesn't mean that there's actual danger, and you know that about fear. So I see spontaneity. I see this really jumpstart approach towards whatever this path is going to be for you. It's coming in fast. This is freaking you out. It is freaking you out to make this decision, but you're not going to let that stop you. I see that the payoff is going to be massive. There's a lot of luck around this. And I see that this is going to come in very fast, rushing in. I think that there's going to be a lot of doubt whether or not it's real because of how fast this comes in, but you got to learn how to ride this wave. Yeah. So what I see is this is coming charging in. It's going to be, it actually feels really not suffocating, but enamoring. Like it completely envelops. That's the word I want. Envelops. It envelops you. Okay. So let's look at how much you were doing for everybody and the what the heck was that about of it. All right, I might have to light some incense in a minute, but I really want to wait for this to go out. These were soulmates in your life, whether it's love or not. You did so much because you had this deep familiar soul bond with them, and either that or you were seeking out that soul bond. They were major teachers for you. And sometimes those lessons are painful. I feel like these were painful. And it was because you and your giving nature, it's painful because they saw that giving nature, saw what the intention was behind it, and still decided to take it, knowing that their intention for what you were giving out was not matching up with theirs. This could have been some level of innocence. I don't feel like it was all malicious, but it was definitely self-serving. And you're about to see exactly how that played out. We got the soulmates with this. This could be love related, but not everybody's going to have this love related. Soulmates show up in numerous ways in our lives. They show up as family, friends, lovers. They show up as colleagues, pets even. It's that soul recognition of, I know you. And you guys did know each other, but it doesn't escape the fact that you were kind of taken advantage of in this. It was a major lesson taught by a very familiar soul. Okay. The sense of belonging to this, it was extreme. I feel like it was its own entity. And I think that you wanted to have a feeling of safety in this, knowing that this was really a lucky scenario, but also that it did have an expiration date and that there would be a new cycle coming in. So you, even on a subconscious level, knew that that past thing, these connections that had exploited your goodwill, wasn't going to last forever. And I think that that's probably why you overdid it in the first place, to try and get it to stick around as long as possible, because that was a pseudo-filled void in your life. So where the heck does that void come from? I mean, we have a void because it's a hollowed out spot inside of us that we feel like we can't fill ourselves. It's like somebody had put that plug in our existence and then removed it, and then there's a void created. So we look out for similar things that are going to be able to fill that. Little did we realize that instead of looking for an external force, maybe we do the healing work to push that boundary of wherever that void was and bring it back to the surface, bring it back to balance, and then you won't need something to actually fill that void. You didn't want to make a decision because even though it didn't feel right, you didn't know if it would feel right eventually, and you actually gaslit yourself and took all the signs around it as, once you grow, then this will be right. I will feel right about this. It'll be a perfect scenario. And Spirit is like, you didn't reach that fork. That fork was an off trail. So this created this never-ending story, and I think that this happened in more than one scenario in your life. So we have the blessing in reverse. Spirit is probably the most patient thing that could have ever been a consciousness, because it will let you drill yourself into the ground for this. Learn this lesson as many times as you need. And when you are broken and on the floor and looking up at it being like, why did you do this? Spirit's like, well, did you learn? Did you learn? You're still here. Yeah, that was painful. So are you going to try and learn that again? Or are you going to do something new this time? Are you going to give so much of yourself? Or are you going to do something new this time? So that's where all of that led to. Okay. So now that other people have to do things from themselves, a few things are going to be happening that actually might... It might strengthen new connections. It might completely dissolve them, but honestly, let's see. Strengthen connections. right, so, no, I'm not feeling this. All right, what is this daring, impulsive change that you're going to be doing? Okay. Healing from the past. Wonderful. Congratulations. And then we have gracefully aging. And religion and spirituality. Yeah, okay, so you want to know what? It's time for you to put the focus on yourself. Who knew? You cannot move on into everything else unless you heal what it is that was so compatible with this crap storm from the past. So yes, this ignited a huge awakening for you. Clearly, there's no denying it. I mean, look at your history of this. You're going to be closing off whatever it is that drew in that pseudo void filling energy and what made it so resonant with you. You are no longer going to be hollow, and this is going to stay with you forever. I think that you're going to have a new understanding of not only yourself, but of where your life is going in general. Because a lot of your decisions, if not all, were based off of what was filling that void and what would ensure that void be continuously filled in your life. Okay. Yeah, now I need to light incense. Talk amongst yourselves, grab your coffee. Where's my lighter? Here we go. Here we go. We're good. We're good. We're good. I completely forgot. I got a notification of a copyright infringement on one of my videos, which don't have sound. So I'm kind of wondering, I forgot until just now. I'm going to have to check and see exactly what that was about. Okay. So filling in that void so you don't find something exterior to fill that and keep that in your life. After you do that, how is this going to affect you as a person? I'm still getting this particular deck. It's actually going to draw in a massive amount of gain, whether it's material, emotional, spiritual, or even weight. I'm just kidding. I honestly don't care. All right, so then we have relationship dynamics. So windfall of relationship dynamics, you're going to actually really draw in the healthy connections that are going to be mutually supportive, not entitled, but mutually supportive. So then we have the end of an era. Okay. End of an era of what? Grown adults acting like children. And not in the good way where we're playful and adventurous. These D-bags. We're no longer going to tolerate that. I don't care who they are. Now we're going to start practicing self-care. Family changes are going to be underway. So some of you are going to be breaking down the family, whether it's the birth family or the constructed family, or if you're going to be expanding your family, whether it's the birth family or a constructed family, because let's be real. Some of us are born into these great supportive tribal units or families or circles, whatever you want to call them. Some of us are here to create it. So that's more or less what you have to discover and what you have to do. Okay, so we have the family changes, which congrats. And we have a gift from Spirit, which is, okay, family changes. Emotionally immature and overwhelming. Yeah, this gift from Spirit is going to make you do a double take. It's going to make you freak out. You are going to become unhinged from it because this is such a good thing that Spirit is giving to you. It's like, I don't know if I can handle this. You're going to freak out. You might be impulsive and try and put it on lockdown immediately. I don't see you doing a dead sprint away from it. I see that this is exactly what you want. It's just this is completely overwhelming for you. And we have this. It is a sense of freedom that is coming in with this. Great. Lots of family changes happening in this. I don't care what family exactly means. There's so many definitions of this. Whatever your family means to you is what you have as going through this really positive change. So, okay. Freedom and okay. Can you please learn to hold on to life loosely? because you're afraid that this is going to be a dream and that it's going to be ripped away from you. All right, this brings about another form of healing, because a lot of spiritual gurus, which, are great, but a lot of spiritual gurus, however you want to pronounce it, in the community, they're like, don't get into a relationship before you are healed. Well, there, sunshine, whatever you want to call them. Some of the crap that has happened in your life can only be healed in relationship dynamics. I know, it's cray-cray. However, there are these trigger points because you've done the healing work and you've moved away from the toxic energies, so now you are going to be put in relationship scenarios that actually triggered the past trauma. And it's up for you to actually experience that trauma, not run away from it, but have the opportunity to rewrite the script on it, to change how this goes through and what it means when it's going through a healthy relationship. So for some of you, if this is a romantic concept, then this could be something as simple as you're afraid that the partner is either going to retaliate physically, emotionally, verbally, mentally, spiritually, financially against you. To have the hard conversations and the confrontational conversations, which do not have to be aggressive, and actually have yourself be heard, understood, and vice versa. Because you actually might be that healing energy for them too. But I see mutual healing really happening there. And if this is... Okay, so aside from that, then there's obviously the abandonment thing, where actually speaking your truth and the person's not going to run away from you. There's a lot of things that can happen in a relationship dynamic where you can rewrite the script. So for some of you, this actually might be a fear of even infidelity or hiding something from you. And this is actually going to be something that you and whatever the connection is can talk through. Whatever the feelings of deception is, you'll be able to talk through in the healthy one. So this is either new in your life, about to occur, or you have to look forward to. So let's look at final cards for this. If you follow this path, I really feel like I need to shuffle these cards back in again because I feel like I'm running out. Hokely dokely. Okay, so we got some butterfly oracles. See ya. And we have the wisdom of the oracle, and I just really flippin' love Colette Baron Reid. Rider-Waite, do your thing. If you follow this path, your likely result is going to come towards, let's see. What's the likely result of this if you stay on this course? Breaking a lot of traditions and having a reestablishment of what your values are and taking a giant leap into those. And I see that this is going to cause you anxiety. So no matter what, there's going to be anxiety around this, but how you handle it is completely up to you. Which the better that you take a moment and really who you are working with on this, the quicker that you get through it, and honestly, the easier that the anxiety will dissolve. But a lot of anxiety needs to be healed right now. Okay, so then we have the avoidance of a lesson. Why? You run the risk of slowing this down because it's happening so fast. You really want to pace yourself. You're like, oh, if it's meant to be. Okay, shut up. All right, so the anxiety is jumping into a new path that is unconventional to what you experienced. It's going to run the risk of you trying to avoid a lesson and slowing things down and forgetting that you are also important. How can we guard against that? Because I don't want you to do that. Acknowledge that you've already gone through this freaking awakening and that you are divinely connected, and you've got to stop doubting yourself, and that it's not all about the other people, it's also about yourself. It's time for you to be selfish, to know your flippin' self and to recognize the work that you have done. Okay. You're going to feel aggressive because of the past traumatic situation, and you're going to feel ungrounded, like you are being overwhelming. The thing is, communication and passion are going to be involved in this. When you are communicating and when you are passionate about what you're saying, when somebody is unhealed, they see it as aggression. You have to recognize that that pattern has already come to a close and that it's not an aggression. It is somebody speaking passionately, and that you and them can be heard, and that this is safe. And it's also important to recognize that you and part of your being on edge like this has made you incredibly exhausted and burnt out. And that it's not a failure. You are exhausted, and you really need to take the time and the effort and rest. The investment is going to be in yourself before it's in anyone else. So it's time for you to really work on your individual structure and routine, and forget everything else as far as overbending it for somebody else. Work on your structure and routine and get on that for yourself. The relationships authentically are going to come in, and you guys are going to morph them with each other. And that's actually going to happen fast. Once you take the time out for yourself and that you have acclimated to that situation, the rest happens pretty smoothly. You are the magician who is finding their center and balance and finding all of their resources readily available to them. And I see a proposal that is going to be coming in from both parties involved, reaching a middle ground that everybody is going to be exponentially happy with. So I seriously hope that that made sense. Until next time, stay safe, have fun, and know that you're greatly loved and appreciated. If you do have questions about booking a private session, because your individual storyline will always be more detailed, in-depth, and intense, go ahead and find the provided email address, reach out, find me on the social platforms, reach out, ask about services, sales, time zones, availability. I really look forward to connecting with you, and I do hope that this finds you well. I'll talk to you soon. So I think what I'm seeing here is somebody who is on this really cool path of going after what it is that they do want, knowing that they have the drive, the thirst, the desire for all of it. This is somebody who's, to say ambitious is putting it mildly, this is unstoppable. They're going after what they want. They know that they deserve it. They know they've done the work for it. This would not have worked in the past, and I need you to know that if it did, if you went about it the way that you would have in the past, you would have dug your own grave. This is somebody who's not patient, who's not practical, who's constantly making uninformed decisions. Like, this is just impulsiveness, and it's bullying too. I feel like if this is you, you probably have some sort of a reputation for being ruthless or being kind of a bully, or this might be somebody that you're dealing with. But honestly, you just did not have the resources or the patience before that you do have now. And I see that you are reflecting in that old mindset, like, how could that have been so? And it's actually a really good on-the-spot reminder of how far you've come. And also when you have those impulses to kind of go for the throat or look for a shortcut, your newly evolved self is like, wait a minute, no. This is actually ensuring that you have grown, that you have moved on, and that you are not the person who you thought you were, who even anyone thought you were. You just didn't have the tools. So now it's a time of reflection. Stop being so pessimistic about yourself. You weren't even overindulgent. You just did not have the structure, and you did not have the self-control that you had now. I don't think that you were given any of those tools before. So now we have learning to let that go and move on. Stop identifying with your past, like to the point where that is your current. You're not there. And yes, all these ribbons of smoke, I'm light, and incense is in front of this. So this is you being structured, sound, honest, truthful, but you're also not going to be held to the old standard either. So whoever's in your environment who's, trying to remind you of who they remember you to be or living in an old paradigm, understand that you got to keep them at an arm's length. They don't deserve the same access to you. They haven't allowed you to move on, but you have moved on. So learn to keep them far back. Keep them out of your main focus. So the luck is changing. We're going in a new direction. The thing is, I see that you're moving away from really overwhelming and borderline abusive territory. The thing is, you're moving on from it, and it thinks that you are somehow going to fail. This, whatever it is that has abused you, your energy, your faith, taken for granted even, this is a highly repressed and insecure energy that whatever it did to you was highly impulsive, and a lot of projection that is happening from this authority that should not have had authority in your life. This should not have been a domineering energy. It's completely uncontrolled. It has absolutely no mastery of self in any sense of the word. But I see that this is something that was an authoritative go-to in your life. It sucks. I don't wish that on you. You are moving on from it. Your luck is authentically changing. I want you to know that everything that you've experienced is not going to continue. The cycles of abuse, bad luck. I keep saying luck, but you get it. It's not always going to continue to be in front of your face and fall on you like that. There's a major karmic lesson, whatever that tie was, but it's over. And I don't care what the gender is, but this feels masculine, which is why this is so authoritative. This is somebody who had, it feels almost like ownership. And that's sick to say to you. So now that you're getting away from this repulsive, domineering energy, or that you have gone away from it, what do you have to look forward to aside from the luck? I mean, because it looks good. It looks like luck. You're going to be facing every bit of your insecurities. You're going to re-examine everything. Ay, ay, ay. And I see that you're going to be afraid to actually move on from whatever this repressed energy is. It's almost like survivor's remorse that you're feeling. That is scary, and I'm sorry. Yeah, you're having a breakdown with this, and I really see that this is a lot of breaking up of the foundation because it was built on whatever this toxicity was. I see that you will be finding your equilibrium, moving on, making yourself actually heard now. I really feel like you will be putting yourself on that soapbox to be heard. And I think that you will be finally standing up for yourself because you couldn't do that around this. There's a feminine energy around you that is protecting you that's very motherly. I love it. Okay, so we have deep, fulfilling relationships. That is the Two of Cups. It's my favorite card as far as these go. Look at that. Look at that. You fill your cup, I'll fill mine. We'll pour into each other's cups every once in a while. It's a give and take here. It really is. However, feminine energy is feeling like nothing is going to happen. In fact, as far as forward movement goes, they feel like a failure. And I see that this is an emotional rejection that I feel that the repressed feminine energy is already putting in place in their life. Yeah, they feel manipulated. They feel like manipulated, taken for a ride. Yeah, that's pretty much where this is going. You gotta love these stressors in relationship. You know, we have masculine, feminine. Masculine energy is usually the runner, but now we have divine feminine who's like, you wanna know, I'm not even gonna chase this. I'm over this. I'm done. You wanna give me my cup back? Go F yourself. That's pretty much the energy that I'm picking up here. I see that they want to rise above whatever this problem is, and they don't want to identify with it so much. They're closing themselves off to it. I see that this is learning what to really spend their time and energy on. Major changes are happening in this feminine energy life where the repression has taken place. I see that they actually really want to move on and start a different path. I see, again, major changes sweeping into their life. Whatever has occurred in the past, divine feminine energy is really working on making their home, whatever the heck that is, whether it's an actual home or just their embodiment. They're working on their happiness again. They're going on a different path, and whoever is coming along with it, well, Godspeed. But let's see, what does this mean for the connection? Because, Wheel of Fortune, starting a new path in this beast. Okay, so what does masculine energy have to do? What's the guidance for divine masculine energy? Come on, give me a card now. What is it? Be honest, truthful, cut to the point, just do things with integrity. All right, so there's been an imbalance. This might be a two-parter. There's been an imbalance with the choices that they have made in the past in regarding to relationships. I do feel like there's been a lot of physical offers that have taken place. They did not master themselves, but now, look, hope is being restored within them. Yeah, two-parter. Ooh. Crap, I don't want to do this. Okay, all these cards just fell down. I'm not taking a single one because they are literally half the deck. Fudge that noise. Okay, here we go. All right, see, look, no. Hope being restored, awesome. So since feminine energy is rejecting this because they feel manipulated and taken for a ride, how is masculine energy going to make this up to them? Working on healing. The masculine is healing, and I think that they're dropping all of the baggage from the past in this, and they want a new start. They do want a new start. They want to make a almost crazy, passionate offer towards the feminine. There's a lot of facing abandonment and learning not to run. That's what they're doing. I think that masculine is learning not to run. Okay. I want to shuffle these back in. So let me show you what I was just working with. This was the last card. This was the first card. And then there's this mess in between that doesn't even make sense at this point. So how is feminine energy even going to be receptive of this? Because like I told you at the beginning of this, she told him to go F himself. They told them. There we go. They told them. Those are the pronouns we're working with because it's genderless and I don't care. All right, so big happy changes after the hardship. Okay, so they've already been feeling rejected, which catalysted them into isolation and really just the pain of this caused them to go through an awakening. So how are they going to receive this? They're going to have proof in the pudding that this is an awakening and that the masculine energy has felt the rejection that they have felt or the hardship that they have felt. So once they understand that, feminine energy is going to be open to it. And they're going to learn when something is not theirs to change or to comply with. And then we have learning to not be impulsive and actually being very clear about what you do want. I see a proposal coming in. I see a deepening layer of intimacy and a connection. It feels like they know what they lost and they're going after it. So they have escaped the cycle of the past and now they're ready for this. Everybody is. Somebody is focusing on a past karmic situation where they feel that they always got the short end of the stick, and with good reason, because they got the short end of the stick. This was something that they thought was dependable. It was karmic. The complete mental mind of it was seen as dependable. They were dependable. Who was dealing with this crap was dependable. They were insured to put up with whatever, so this person completely exploited that. I think that they are really uncovering how much they were completely screwed over. And what I'm seeing with this is they don't really understand the level of trauma that has occurred and that they have embodied. That's uncovering itself right now because they're ready to move on from the situation. They've sat in stagnance with this for long enough. They're learning to not identify with this person so much. And it's like, okay, now that you're not identifying with this person so much, a lot is going to be coming up. And it's like, I didn't realize how effed over I was. Oh my God, this is a trauma response. This is a trauma response, and that is a trauma reaction right there. And it's like, oh no, my entire personality and perception and actions are based off of unhealed trauma. How could I not have seen this? Well, because you couldn't have seen it. You couldn't. You were the entirety of it. And everything that was surrounding this particular person kept you engaged in the victim manner. Whatever it is isn't around you anymore. And now you have a new lease on life. And now a lot is coming to the surface that I don't think you even knew to uncover. It's just now that you're loosening up, guess what's floating to the surface? Whatever this absolute crap sandwich is. And it sucks. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. That sucks. So, where are my cards? Here they are. Okay. What is this going to do for you after you have this amazing you want to know? While you're going through this addressing of your pain, what can you expect? Wanting to just run. So much truth. And seeing everything for the reality of what it was. Whatever illusion was is about to be shattered. And then we have a lot of combativeness coming up. I feel like you're really standing up for yourself and you're really confrontational. Good. And then I see this is the success and the victory. This is probably going to be a two-parter as well. All right. After you feel like you've gotten the recognition that you deserve, I see that you are not only driven, but I see that you are focusing not at the past, but at what was in the past that you actually did not have the ability to embrace in yourself. And I see you bringing that to the forefront. So I see that whatever your personality is, imagine it getting a sense of curiosity and ambition coming back in. I say that because it really feels not necessarily goofy. It feels more like exploratory. Like, I think I want to tap into this about myself. This can be in anything. I mean, you could be a writer. You could be an artist. You could be a forensics. You could be anything. Whatever has been repressed that you weren't allowed to tap into from your past about you within yourself, it's going to probably become part of this new personality of yours, because the trauma personality is going to be completely altered. And what was before that can no longer exist, but you can't move forward on this continual trauma response. So here we go with the new you and what will be, and the little cherry picking parts that you're bringing up from the past that you want to invoke in this new embodiment of yours. Does that make sense? Okay. Anyway, what are we looking at? Okay, so you and this entirely passionate and different personality. So why are we, okay. I don't think you're as far gone as you think that you are. Maybe you're thinking that it's too little too late, or that you're a lost cause, or too much has transpired, which is a load of crap. You have breath in your body. It's an opportunity for change. Okay. Oh, this is about time wasted. You really feel like you wasted your life. Some people die when they're, in childhood, and they don't actually physically die until they're like in their 90s, and some people are just learning how to live. Can you not really focus on the time wasted and just learn not to waste any more time and not take these moments for granted? You are made new. So really, your awareness and acknowledgement of that is the pass on the excuse. All right, final cards. You have to see this through an entirely different angle. And I see that you are laying a new practical foundation, something that is really plain and bare that you can address as time moves on in any which way that you want. And I really see that it has to be plain because you have to actually discover who and what you actually are. Which you have the world. This is an entirely new cycle. I see that this is going to be, I think, the best years of your life. Congrats.